Welcome back, YouTube. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit differently, as you can see. We're going to be watching a video called The Dark Side of Japan. I have no idea what this is going to be about. And you know what? I like the idea of Japan. Maybe one day I'll visit it. So, I want to be well informed. And I hope you do too. Consider subscribing and liking if you enjoy this type of content, and, give any other video or channel recommendations as well. But without further ado, let's get into it.
This is the Japan that you all used to see. Beautiful mountains, modern technology, and ancient temples. But did you know that you can't go into public swimming pools or bathhouses if you have tattoos? Or that many people are so overworked they often sleep in the streets, or even worse, decide to disappear and build an entirely new life? This is the dark side of Japan.
What a frame to stop on. Are they just naked out there with a little towel? I really hope that it's going to provide some good sources on this, because I've never heard of this stuff, and I'm not going to just blindly believe anything, because hearing that, it frequently happens, that seems like a stretch. I'm sure there are people that go out there and sleep on the streets because they're overworked. Although I would think that they would probably sleep in the office, though. I would think. And also, I did bump up the volume.
Something that's been around for a long time in the country is the Japanese Yakuza, or Japanese Organized Crime Group.
I pronounce it Yakuza.
Have been in existence for over 300 years, tracing back to 1612 when they started to attract the attention of the government. They are organized into families and group members for mutual protection, having similar
I did play a bit of the
Yakuza
Yakuza games.
Samurai. In fact, it was believed that Yakuzas are descended from gangs of Ronins or wayward samurais. The Japanese Yakuza engage in extortion, blackmail, smuggling, drug trafficking, gambling, loan sharks, and other activities that control restaurants, bars, and companies all over the cities. Yakuza members often have elaborate tattoos that have their meanings.
Oh, okay. Fun fact that I'm pretty sure I know about is that usually, so the reason that they get the tattoos is that they have to get a tattoo, if I'm not mistaken, to be part of the Yakuza. But you can get it really wherever, but the bigger the tattoo and the more painful of an area that you get the tattoo, the more loyal that you are to the Yakuza. So if you want to really stand out and show, I'm dedicated to the cause, you get a big back tattoo, or you get entirely covered that as far as you can. Probably don't go for the face. I don't think they want that. But the more that you do, the more that you are showing your loyalty to the Yakuza.
Members of a clan often have the same tattoos, but with a strict requirement. They should not be visible in everyday life. You might also recognize them by their missing pinky fingers. Often, Yakuza have to undergo yubitsume, or finger shortening, to pay back for their wrongdoings. They reached their height in the 1960s with over 184,000 members, but nowadays, their numbers have dwindled to 40,000.
Yeah.
This could be due to the laws established in 2011 that made it illegal for businesses to give money or make transactions with gang members. The Yakuza is also why the Japanese are very strict about tattoos, as it's often synonymous with the organized crime group. In Japan, people with tattoos are banned from entering most onsens, hot springs, ryokan, traditional inns, sento, public baths, pools, gyms, or
oh, come on, really? Like this little thing right here that she's got? Really? Are you thinking that they're part of the Yakuza if they have that? I keep alternating between it. Really? That's nothing. Come on. Come on. So if you're not Japanese and you go visit Japan and you have some tattoos, guess you're not experiencing any of this.
Or even some capsule hotels. The rules were made to keep the gang members from certain spaces. Aside from association with the Yakuza, there was also a time in the Edo period when criminals were punished with tattoos.
You'll get banned if you have Mickey Mouse on your ankle.
Romantic devotion to customers. Tattoos were deemed illegal during the Meiji period, 1868 to 1912, although it was legalized again in 1948. The stigma continues, and people with tattoos still have limited options when it comes to bathing facilities.
And the stigma around someone having 4 fingers is also very, very, real. Even so within cartoons. If I'm not mistaken, Eddsworld, I probably am getting that game incorrect, but they're any video game or any media property that has a character where they have 4 fingers, or maybe even just a race of creatures that has 4 fingers as being like the main character's race, or an alien that has 4 fingers. Usually they will then go, if they're going to be putting it to a Japanese audience, will make it so that they edit it so they only have 3 fingers, or maybe they'll add a finger so they have 5, because they don't want that stigma to then potentially hurt the sales over in Japan. Because like, oh, I'm playing as a good guy, but he has 4 fingers, might lead to some negative connotations for your protagonist that's supposed to be a good guy over in Japan due to the cultural differences. So I'm probably getting it wrong. It might have been Eddsworld. It's a funny little game that really, maybe they're getting a sequel, but if you know it, you know it.
You may be familiar with the Fukushima tragedy. In 2011, a 15-meter tsunami disabled the Fukushima Daiichi reactors, causing a nuclear accident.
You know what I meant. Yes, everyone has 4 fingers if you only have 4.
7 by the International Nuclear and Radiological Event Scale, the most serious level. Fast forward to August 2023, when the government decided to release treated radioactive.
Why does he have that mustache? Is that a real mustache or is that propaganda? I can't tell if that's drawn on. This looks like it's a rally against him, so I'm assuming that that's drawn on, right? Oh my god.
Of water into the Pacific Ocean. Japan had already received a green light from the UN, as the analyzed value of radioactivity is 1,500 becquerels per liter of tritium, much lower than the 60,000 becquerels per liter of tritium standard. China immediately placed a ban on all Japanese aquatic products, and people in Japan, Hong Kong, and South Korea have voiced their concerns through protests. Some have turned to Reddit to discuss this issue.
Reddit moment. Fucking Redditor.
Some people have mentioned that the results of the research have shown that they are as radioactive as bananas, so there's nothing to worry about. A lot of people still expressed concern as they're just diluting the radioactive water with seawater to lower the concentration and pretend it's safe. To put the rumors to rest, Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida ate a fish caught in Fukushima, and his office released a video on social media.
That proves it.
Ironically, it was found that China, which banned Japanese products due to this incident, had a nuclear power plant that released about 3 times more tritium than Fukushima. South Korea's Kori nuclear power plant also had similar amounts. Another side of Japan that you don't often see in other countries.
This is what everybody came for, the maid cafes. Do you want to know a fun fact about maid cafes? Some people will joke how Hooters is the maid cafe of America, when in reality, Hooters came out first. So really, maid cafes are the Hooters of Japan. Little fun fact for you right there.
Countries is their maid cafes. These are cosplay-themed cafes where staff are dressed up in maid outfits and serve customers. It's so popular among otakus that there are around 60 maid cafes in Akihabara alone. For the most part, it's a fun and harmless experience, but there is some dark side to this industry. It's said that the work environment is very stressful, and some maids have panic attacks during working hours. The maids are also forbidden to put on weight and keep their figures as slim as possible. There's also a hierarchy within the maids, with foreign maids being at the bottom of the rank. Customers also have forums where they would discuss maids in sexually explicit ways. Another term that's unique to Japan is the salarymen. Salarymen are salaried workers or white-collar workers who are very loyal to their corporation. They're so loyal that most salarymen work between 12 to 18 hours a day. Some have even called them derogatory terms like kaishi no inu, company's dogs, or shakichu, corporate livestock. The hard day of Japanese corporate workers begin early in the morning when people have to stuff themselves into an overfilled train. These trains are so full that the government decided to have a staff specifically tasked with cramming people in.
Well, okay, that sucks, but can we just appreciate that they have a lot of public transport over in Japan? I live in America, and God, I wish we had more public transit. I wish we had more trains. I wish we had more sidewalks, which is weird to say. You're like, oh, what do you mean you don't have sidewalks? There are so many places that just don't have any sidewalks, or they have sidewalks that lead to nowhere and just abruptly end. I want to have like good bike lanes. I want all of that. But no, We don't have that over here. We don't even have that good bus systems in a lot of the places. I'm sure some cities in the US do. I haven't been everywhere, but we need more we need public infrastructure for transportation. We need so much more. And then that'll also just help the carbon footprint and everything. Do you want to know what video? Do I know? This video is the dark side of Japan.
Then they'll work away in the office until nighttime. They work so late that they can only blow off steam in late-night spots like izakayas or pachinkos. Sometimes, the salarymen get so tired from working that some have to sleep on the street, the train, or even the sidewalk. Often, many families wouldn't be able to see much of their father since they work so much. Corporate workers in Japan are also facing dangerous consequences for their lifestyle, suffering from heart conditions.
Wait, why are they outlined? Is this just a meme? They found like an office worker who passed out or is sleeping or drunk and they decided to, just, outline a funny joke. Or is this guy fucking dead? Am I looking at a corpse right now?
Strokes and mental health issues. Sometimes you can see people screaming and punching a hole in the wall in the streets of Tokyo because of stress. Sadly, these meltdowns are so common that most people would just walk past each other as if nothing is wrong. The worst case is called koroshi, death by overworking. The first case of koroshi was recorded in 1969 when a newspaper company employee died of a stroke at the young age of 29. Some of these people are so overwhelmed that they decide to end their lives. They often travel to Aokigahara.
Oh no, don't do a Logan Paul.
To kill themselves. Another effect of their stressful lives is jauhatsu, where tens of thousands of Japanese people go missing every year. People who purposefully vanish from their lives and disappear. People sometimes are so overwhelmed with work, they decide to disappear. Although the leading cause is due to dementia, some people escape due to domestic violence.
Wait, you're just gonna gloss over that? The leading cause is dementia? How does someone with dementia just up and disappear? Huh? Like they just walk out without realizing where they are? Don't people that have dementia usually kind of relapse where they forget again what they started doing, so then they would be confused again? Do people not see like an old person? Just see them walking around as like, well, what's going on? The police don't do any, like don't they have identification methods? Like what? Japan logic, Rave? I'm sorry. It's just gonna gloss over that.
Debt, or the shame of job loss. There's even a line of business that helps people to disappear called yonigeya. Japanese are some of the friendliest people in the world, but that doesn't mean they don't discriminate. The country is famously homogenous with over 98.5% of the population being purely Japanese. However, there's the case of hafu, or half Japanese people. These people often feel alienated as most people view them as foreigners. Some Korean and Chinese hafu face discrimination as they're from countries that were colonized by Japan. This is especially true as well for black hafu. They face plenty of stereotypes, such as being good at basketball, funny, or liking rap music. If you ever buy a...
Well, I thought rap music was kind of big in Japan. I've seen, this is telling right here, but I've seen so many different animes where then they have a segment where people like do rap, or they talk about rap, or a character at the school loves rap. I thought it was kind of, not necessarily common where everyone has it, but I thought like tons of people liked it over there. What? Okay, interesting. Did you know though that over in Japan there is an area that has their own little cultural barrier of North Koreans? Well, they're not really North Koreans, but they are from Korea, or they're descendants of Koreans that were captured and sent over to Japan during World War II, if I'm not mistaken, and then they just didn't leave. They once they were free, they didn't leave. They decided to stay. And when the North and South Korea then split, North Korea sent a bunch of aid and money to them, trying to secure them as just a foothold in Japan, so to speak, just culturally. So they view themselves, even though I think even most of them were from a southern area of Korea, most of them, if not all, view themselves as North Koreans. They have their own museum, they have their own school, and Japan is, a lot of the Japanese people are very upset about that. Just why? I don't know, but they decided to stay, and they have gotten a ton of support from North Korea. So that's why they in turn support North Korea. I mean, when you're facing racial and ethnic discrimination, having a entire nation decide to, kind of back you and send you aid money and food and supplies to then build yourself up. That's what they identify with. It's either that, or I guess kind of just feel like you're alone in a country that hates you, potentially. So I'm not agreeing with them, but that's the kind of the scenario that they had. Yeah, harder to convince new generations to go back to a country they don't know. Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard. So when you get a bunch of aid money, you're going to, ignore it. And again, I don't agree with this, but they will sometimes say, or people will say, like, well, yeah, North Korea is doing a lot of terrible stuff and has done a lot of terrible stuff. But I mean, so is Japan. So has the US. So that's how they rationalize it. And, there's a whole discussion to have over that. But I thought it was just interesting that they have like a North Korean cultural foothold within Japan with their own school and everything. It's weird. North Korean people in Japan have a better life and more food than Nate. Oh yeah, no, it's better to be a North Korean in Japan than to be a North Korean in North Korea. Absolutely. So, and then it kind of makes sense that the Japanese people would be against it, because I think I heard someone say in an interview that imagine if Al-Qaeda set up a school in America. How would we feel about that? Yeah, we probably wouldn't be very happy about that. So it's an interesting scenario they got themselves into over there. So yeah. Yep.
Phone in Japan, there's one little annoying detail to their cell phones you might have noticed. All their cell phones will have a shutter sound you can't turn off no matter what you do. For some
I know this. I'm going to fucking preemptively say it so I sound smart. The reason they have the shutter sound, and we learned about this on a previous stream unrelated to this, they have a shutter sound so that if they take a picture, you hear it, so that you're like, did someone just take a picture of my skirt or take a picture of me? Of my skirt or anything of that nature? Is someone being a pervert? That's what he's going to say. I know it.
Some people, this is an annoyance, but it can be life-changing for others. The reason behind this shutter sound is privacy concerns, so people can't take pictures they shouldn't be taking. The country has a lot of cases where people take unwanted pictures of others. The Japanese police saw a huge rise in voyeurism, a 60% rise from 2007 to 2016. That's why this law was made, to protect vulnerable people,
hey, Ferris,
especially women. Even the tech giant Apple agreed to customize the cell phones that they shipped to Japan. So although this might seem a little annoying to you, it's made with good intentions, and the overall purpose is to safeguard people's privacy. Japan is such an interesting country that I wanted to share a couple more interesting facts. Japan is the land of wacky inventions, like this amazing cooling spray that people use during summertime. All you need to do is spray the foam onto your skin or a surface. Then take the foam and put it wherever you want on your body. You'll be cooled off in no time. It seems that the Japanese are obsessed.
That just sounds like a weird reverse insulation gel. What the heck? Oh God, do people use that for other stuff? I hope not. Oh God.
Obsessed with beating the heat. Another innovation is called the fan jacket, where each jacket comes with
It's gotta be toxic.
It's perfect for outdoor workers who want to stay breezy in a hot and sticky.
That has gotta be loud, right?
Temperature. Another crazy invention is the overtime work stickers, where people will indicate to the public that they're currently working overtime, so please don't disturb them. The country is also the inventor of the luxury fruit market, from a white jewel strawberry to a cute.
I thought he was about to say they were the inventors of the pineapple. Imagine mixing that up with whipped cream. Maybe it's edible. Maybe they made it edible as well. Back to the air drying jacket is from Back to the Future. Oh my God.
Cubed-shaped watermelon. Prices go up to tens of thousands of dollars. That's why it's the best gift you can give when visiting people. Japan is a...
Does it do anything for the flavor? Why do people care if the watermelon is a cube? Why do they care that it's a cube? Like, what does it matter? Does it make I feel like you're getting less watermelon. Does anyone else think that? Is it that they can stack it? They just stack easier? Is that literally the reason?
A beautiful country with amazing views and rich traditions. It also has its issues with crippling mental health and prejudice due to the way their society is
The fucking... What are these thumbnails?
shaped. Hopefully, the country can overcome this and continue to be one of the most inventive and creative countries in the world.
All right, this was an interesting video. It kind of was going for just facts at one point. It seems that they do a lot of dark side videos, with an interesting thumbnail strategy. I must say, I think we can all just agree and come together that every ethnicity, every country, they're beautiful in their own ways, as you can clearly see from these thumbnails. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, thank you for watching, YouTube. I hope you learned some stuff. I'm not sure how much of this I fully agree with on it. I would love to know the sources. I'll check the descriptions for it. But I'd love to know the sources and the prevalency of what they were talking about. Because I'm sure it happens, but how much and how frequently? Because yes, overworking and mental health is definitely an issue over in Japan. But I think it might have made it seem a little bit too much, but I don't know. This is what I learned. I'll do more research myself. But thank you for going on this journey with me, YouTube. And if you enjoyed this content, consider liking and subscribing, and maybe even leaving other recommendations down below if you like it. And maybe even come by the stream or join the Discord. But without further ado, I will bid you adieu. And until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye-bye.